Hey guys, Aaron Kurtz, and thank you for watching this video. Toxic relationship between yourself. I want to describe two different parts of yourself that, for most people, can be at war at some aspect, at some level within themselves, and it's the foundation for disease, dysfunction, distrust within yourself, and frustration, and it goes on from there into whatever expression you are dealing with. Two parts of yourself. And I want to describe two parts of yourself that I've sort of borrowed the names of these self one and self two from this inner game method. There's a lot of books on it about improving performance, physical performance in sports. The inner game method, though, is about understanding your body and how it works, your mind and how it works. And there's two parts of yourself, self one and self two, that we're going to dive into a little bit. And understanding this relationship is so key to understanding yourself. And many people believe and feel that it's the relationship in yourself you have to yourself that is what creates your reality. And so within those two selves of you, there's also an aspect that many would say, spiritual teachers would say, is really you, and that's the observer, the part of you that can become aware of these two parts. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, self one, we're going to call it, is what you tend to think of as you. It's the rational thinking mind. Um, Part of you that can imagine, can rationalize where all your thoughts are happening, where we tend to live most of our daytime, right? Our time in our head. Um, at least we get pulled into that. That's a tendency. So this is also the part that can control, try to resist. It's where the fear gets exemplified, all of our limiting beliefs, right? All in that space. But also a place where you can dream, imagine, create, and visualize, right? So there's different aspects to that conscious, rational thinking, thoughts, mind. And there's self two. Self two. You may know this as the subconscious, the unconscious brain, the automatic system. It's the doer, it's the body, the manifestation, the expression where you see what you feel. Um, it's the part that is, we're going to get more into this, but this includes your central nervous system, okay, which is part of your brain and spinal cord, your peripheral nervous system, which is your somatic and which is like your body's nerves going into your body, and your autonomic nervous system, which would be like your parasympathetic rest and digest, and your sympathetic fight or flight system, stress response system. So all of that. So think about the influence that has. We're talking digestion, blood flow, heart rate, blood pressure, organ function, um, man, pH balance, like emotions, thoughts coming into your mind, the emotions, the happiness, confidence, sadness, uh, guilt, shame, love, joy. These are all out of your control. This is the point I want to make. Self two, this self two aspect of yourself that seems automatic, seems it's not within our control. Self one, that's our control. We have control. We can control what we can't really control what we think about. Really, the only control you really have is where you place your attention, and that's what this part that we tend to think of as ourselves, right? The observance of what we can observe things, um, and even that can be limited sometimes. But your ability to observe, self too, we cannot influence this part of ourselves. All these functions I mentioned about our body responses, all the things that you may not like about yourself, or the things that you do like about yourself, and maybe you think that you are in control of it. You're not really in control of it. Can you really stop your heart rate? Well, in some ways. But no, can you stop your heart rate? Can you stop your blood pressure and start it up again? Can you contract smooth muscle in your digestive system or cardiac muscle? Can you contract that? No. There's aspects. Can you totally directly control your emotions? No. Um, and this is a big point to this relationship, is that self one, this part of our conscious mind, tries to control self two, tries to control our body, tries to control the total gamut of expressions that we come to know. We might call them symptoms. We might call it things we don't like about ourselves, physical manifestations. That's where all our judgments and controls and resistance, it lies in our self one, our conscious brain, trying to control our self two, which we cannot control. We can only influence. And we'll talk about that influence at one point, but it's a really big thing to really appreciate and to understand the magic that your body, your automatic system, we're calling it self two, is governed by or runs, because it's not you. It's not you. And a lot of this resistance that we deal with, we're talking about anxiety. A lot of my work has been on OCD. It's built on this concept. There's so much judgment, we're going to get into this, behind this, and a lot of control, over control, and grinding of the gears, because we think we're in control because of experiences in our past. And we learn essentially, the foundation of this is judgment. It's judgment coming from beliefs about what is right and wrong, good and bad. And we see this modeled, we pick up on this, culture, parenting, belief systems, religion, you name it. We pick up on this and we start to label the things of our body, how it works, functions, expresses itself, as good or bad. And the body is part of ourself. And so when you label it good and bad, right and wrong, you are fighting within yourself. And I call this the split. There comes a split within yourself, because between who you think you are, self one, versus the automatic part of you, there's tension fighting it, right? We're trying to control it. And that judgment is what leads to resistance. And we're trying to correct this wrong within us. And we can go into so many examples of this from the medical standpoint, of how the medical field totally goes against us and creates a split and operates on this split mentality of viewing your body as wrong, as being against you and not part of you, not working for you. And anything can really work in this model. Any kind of therapy and whatnot, it can work in this kind of way of thinking. But this split, and operating from this split, how we view ourselves, and trying to control and resist what is our body and mind is expressing within it, leads to distrust in that natural part of ourselves, working for us, being for us, working for our good, and not understanding it leads to distrust in us, in that part of us. And that distrust then leads to dysfunction. Dysfunction leads to disease, coming from that resistance inside. And so what really happens when all this judgment is that keeps you from being present, because the more stories you have about what is happening in yourself, the more stories you're going to have about what is happening out there, the more negative, fearful stories. And this is going to pull you away from the present. It's going to keep you from seeing what is actually happening. Keeps you from seeing things as they are. And that's really what's going to pull you away from the only thing that's real right now, which is this moment right now, and this moment, right? We talk about that, Eckhart Tolle, a lot of people have read his book, The Power of Now. Well, this concept right here is that the judgments that we have in our mind about ourselves, from the thoughts we have, the emotions we have, the beliefs we have, to the way our body even expresses itself, that forms the foundation of not being here now. And there's a split, and our mind is working now to solve it, because we've created this. Our minds are goal-seeking mechanisms, and so when you tell it that you're wrong, it's now going to try to correct it. It's going to try to create this. It's going to try to heal it with thinking and controlling and trying and resisting. We know that doesn't work because you can't. The mind, the conscious brain, cannot do what the automatic self 2 can do. Because the self 2 is, man, it's the magic. It's what can do everything for you. It doesn't even need you. We were emotional beings first, reptilian, limbic, and then the thinking brain on top. The thinking brain, we're still learning how to even use it. And most of the time, we're just trying to control and judge and condemn those automatic parts of ourselves. And so healing the split looks like resolving the judgments you have within yourself. And that looks like becoming aware of the thoughts, of the judgments, the feelings you have towards your thoughts, your feelings. With anxiety and OCD, this looks like the judgments and resistance you have to emotions and thoughts. Big time. And you can take this in every direction with physical ailments, and I say it's a physical expression. I like that. It's your body expressing itself. Inflammation, it's your body expressing itself. What do we do with inflammation? We try to make it go away. We try to take pills. We do these fancy little techniques, tactics, massage, passive treatments, supplements, you name it, to try to make inflammation an expression of the body from something else causing it to go away. And so when you understand this, you can come back to the oneness that is within your thoughts, your thinking brain, and your body. You as the observer, becoming aware of this division and this judgment is everything. And from there, you can heal that relationship, that toxic, divisive relationship within yourself. Look, I take this in every direction. I've been experimenting with this for years now, going into like my experience of being so controlling, so judgmental towards everything from morality, ethics, spirituality, religion, to food and restricting, controlling diets. And I've thrown it all out, and I've healed that split. And I really eat whatever foods I want. I don't label them good or bad. And my body guides me. I have a body that I like, enjoy, and performs well for me. And I never thought that was possible, because I thought I had to constrict and control my body because it was working against me. Like if I let go, it would just become out of control. It's not true. It's not true. Become aware of the thoughts, the judgmental thoughts and stories you're telling yourself about what's happening, and start to view your body, your mind, your emotions as working for you. And we can heal that split and start to build and create a life that you want and who you want to be. Thanks for watching, guys. Share this video, please, and like it, and comment with anything. Thank you.